everybody. How are you guys tonight? Oh my gosh, I've been moving things around. I think I unplugged my Stream Deck. Oh well, I don't need it. I don't have that many scenes tonight. Hi Parker, hi Linda, hi Susan. Nice to have you guys here. Thanks so much for dropping in. It's good to have you here. Yay. It's Thursday. Tomorrow I leave for Eugene on the train. And so Sunday there'll be a premiere. I've recorded it already, posted it, ready to go. And then on Thursday there'll be a premiere too, because I will be on the road to going to Mesa. And I think on Thursday night we will be camping in the back of the pickup. We have a one of those tents that fits on the back of your pickup, you know, and goes out. We refitted it, we fitted it, made sure it worked, and it has it perfectly fits a queen size air bed, you know. So we just pop that in there, blow it up, and we have, of course, we live in Washington, so the original land of REI. So of course we have sleeping bags that are meant for cold weather. And so if we run into stuff, but we should make it to Ashland by the first night, I think, is where we're going to plan to go. We've got it split into 3 nights and 4 days, so it'll be good. But yay. So yes, Parker is one of my buddies from the Ecamm fam and is always showing up he also shows up at Luis's and Doc's stuff that we do with the Let's Get Live group. And anyway, and Parker, are you coming to Creator Camp? Are you? Do I get to meet you in person at Creator Camp? Are you coming? Let me know, because I'm excited about that too. So you guys, it's a good night for story time. I have been today, I kind of cleaned up around here. What did I do or didn't do? Oh, Aldo and I went for a nice long walk. It's gotten colder. And I'm not packed for tomorrow to head to Eugene on the train, but oh well. I'm not worried about that. And just did kind of, I worked on my website. I found out I had to go back in and re-upload a lot, or replace some images with 8-bit rather than 16-bit, in which I always print in 16-bit, but with Bay Photo being my print provider for those people who order online, I had to take care of their requirements, which meant changing some things. And so, especially for the infrared, I wanted to make sure that that was all spot on. I've been doing that. So, yeah, I am having fun. No. Oh yeah, Larry. Hey Larry, nice to have you here. Yeah. Oh, bummer, Parker. I was hoping you were going to be there. Why not take the trailer, Larry? That is a good thing. Except we're going to be in Mesa for 2 weeks at Annalene and Philip's house, and their community has regulations about trailers. And like they can't have them in the driveway, they can't have them parked on the street. So we would have to find a place to park it and leave it for the 2 weeks. And that was pretty costly to do. Plus the extra cost in just taking it down there. And we're going to be, since we're going to be staying at their house, it's not one of those things. And we haven't used this tent camper yet. So anyway, hey Angie, hi. So that's our excuse, and we're sticking to it. But we are planning on taking the trailer out probably in November, like we do to the coast, to get some good old Washington rainforest at the ocean stormy stuff. I'd like to get down to Cape Disappointment at that time of year, and it's just gorgeous. So do some stuff down there. Susan, yes. So Angie's here. Crunchberry's Playhouse. That's who Crunchberry's Playhouse is. Parker is Angie, and Green Rumor is Angie's husband, Larry, and Susan, and all of those guys. A lot of these guys are fluid artists, are artists of different kind of things. Parker, yeah, Parker's. Let's see. Hang on, I have to do something real quick here. Parker Jennings. Okay, Parker, which one are you? That's not you. That avatar's there. There's two Parker Jennings that I see, and I want to know if I'm subscribed to the right one. Parker, can you tell us which one? Do you have a YouTube channel? Which one your YouTube channel is? Because I always see you in the chats for Ecamm, and I'm not sure where you're. Because there's a Parker Jennings there, and Parker Jennings. Let's see. No, that doesn't look like you. Anyway, put it in. Tell us which one's your channel so that we can pop it in there. Anyway, yay. So tonight, you guys, I have Larry, the artist, and his gorgeous wife, Angie. Yes. Yay. Is that, so Linda put in a link to Parker Jennings. There is the link. Oh, cool. Is that the right link? Yay. Thank you very much. Good job, Linda. Of course, I cannot link it. I cannot do anything with it because I'm on. All right. So tonight, story time. I have 2, maybe 3 books. And they're okay. So it was Feathers or Four Legs. And so these are stories in which formerly and what was formerly about, Larry? So these are 2 stories, very different people kind of things. The first one is called Tanna's Owl, and it's by Rachel and Sean-Qitsualik-Tinsley. So it is a First Nations author and then co-authors, and then it's illustrated by Youngling Kang, and it's kind of cool. I want to tell you a little bit about the author and illustrators. So Rachel and Sean-Qitsualik-Tinsley write fiction and educational works that celebrate the secretive world of Arctic cosmology and shamanism. Of Inuit Cree ancestry, Rachel was born into a tent at the northernmost tip of Baffin Island. She learned that Inuit survival lore from her father. Eventually, she survived residential school. Rachel specializes in archaic dialects and balances personal shamanic experience with university education. She's published over 400 articles on culture and language, been shortlisted for several awards, and has enjoyed many years as a judge for Historica Canada's Indigenous Arts and Stories competition. In 2012, she was awarded the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal for contributions to Canadian culture. And Sean-Qitsualik-Tinsley is of Scottish Mohawk descent and learned a love of nature and stories from his father. He originally trained as an illustrator, but eventually discovered greater aptitude with words. His sci-fi work winning second place at the California-based Writers of the Future contest. And Rachel and Sean sweepingly met at the Banff Centre, Alberta, spending subsequent decades of Arctic researchers as Arctic researchers and consultants. Together, they have published about a dozen books as English originals, along with many shorter books. And they're inspired by the imaginal intelligence of pre-colonial Arctic traditions, ancient Inuit, and the now extinct Tun'it. Many such works are found in K-12 schools and universities across Canada and abroad. Yes. That, I mean, and I looked on the First Nations website, and the work they have, their books are translated into original First Nation languages, which is really amazing. And Youngling Kang is an illustrator and avid comic book reader. She was inspired by simple day-to-day experiences, her nostalgia for childhood. She suspects that her fondness for drawing may have been caused by watching too many cartoons. Youngling has raised in tropical Singapore, and as a result, she enjoys slow water sports and spicy food. And she currently lives in Toronto, where she enjoys reading comics and taking long walks in green spaces. So then this book kindly gave me some tips on the pronunciation of some of this, because it is an Inuit setting. And therefore, you know me, it's going to have some stuff that might be a little bit tricky for me to pronounce. So let's see if I get, aha, there it is. I got it. Tanna's owl. Now the illustrations are really, I mean, they're just beautifully simple, but they tell such a deep story. Cool with the owl and her running in there. Just gonna see if it said what the I don't see if it says what they did the illustrations in. Nope, didn't see it. So this is a greeting from Rachel. I had a lot of strange pets growing up. That was how things were way back. In the Arctic many decades ago, animals were around us all the time. We didn't just need them to survive. They were our companions. We used to respect them. Our ancient stories even said they were family. Inuit have lots of names. That's because some of them are magical. Tanna is one of my magical names. It means that one over there. Owls are magical too. Inuit were always careful way back to note whatever belonged to the land, sea, or sky. And the most magical animals were those who brought these things together. Owls, you see, can fly, but they're raised on the land. So they bring land and sky together. I'm about to tell you a little bit about my owl. In truth, it wasn't even my owl. I don't think you can actually own an animal or a piece of land or anything, actually. You can only bring things together, learn to help, to care. I wonder if my father wanted me to know that. Tanna's owl. Summer began and Tanna's owl arrived. Her father had returned from hunting. With him, he'd brought an owl. Why did father get me such an ugly thing? Thought Tanna. The baby owl was round, gray, brown. Its eyes were big and yellow. Its beaky mouth seemed wide enough to swallow its own head. But Tanna thought, it's somehow cute. You'll have to take good care of it, father told her. It has no mother. It'll need to eat 2 or 3 times a day. Well, that night, Tanna set her alarm for 4:00 a.m. She had the shortest sleep of her life. She had to catch lemmings. There was no bird food, and the owl wouldn't have eaten it anyway. But her brothers and sisters helped. Catching the lemmings. Tanna named the owl Ukpik. That's Inuit for owl. Ukpik lived in her father's workshop. Tanna thought of the bird as a she. Line the floor with papers, her father said, as it will poop a lot. When Ukpik did not get her food right away, early in the morning, she would stomp her feet. She would sway back and forth. She would chomp her beak. At least she can communicate, Tanna thought to herself. After feeding Ukpik, Tanna would stare into the bird's light golden eyes. She wondered if owls had thoughts. "Father, does Ukpik know she's an owl?" asked Tanna. "It knows you feed it," Father said, smiling. Ukpik soon tired Tanna out. The owl became more and more demanding. No matter how much Tanna fed her, Ukpik still stomped, swayed, chomped. Tanna wondered if the bird was sick. She took Ukpik outside and placed her on the ground. "What do you want, you alien thing?" Tanna demanded. And Ukpik just stared at her. Then creepily, the owl turned her head around backwards, watching the family dogs. Looking at Ukpik like that made Tanna's own head feel sore. Soon Tanna's brothers and sisters grew sick of catching lemmings. "Owls need lemmings," Tanna protested. But they'd seen Ukpik eat. They said she was gross. "Can Ukpik eat fish?" Tanna asked Father. "It can probably eat whatever fits in its mouth," he told her. Soon, Ukpik was eating any kind of meat or fish, even caribou. The owl was no longer cute. Feeding her was an awful chore. Ukpik's beak was sharp as blades. She snatched at her food, and Tanna had to wear gloves. One rainy day, Tanna took Ukpik outside. The owl was no longer gray and brown. She was growing white plumes. The feathers on her feet were thick as polar bear fur. Her talons were like little black knives. Ukpik looked around as though bored. Then she stared at the sky as though to say, "I should be up there." And Tanna picked up the owl and moved her up and down. Ukpik was too young to fly, but she started to flap her wings. Maybe, thought Tanna, pretending to fly will make her feel better. Summer ended, and Tanna had to leave her community for school. She worried about Ukpik, who had been left behind and had never flown. But Tanna was happy not to get up at 4 a.m. or catch lemmings, or see stomping, or hear chomping. When the next summer arrived, Tanna came home. Ukpik was gone. "It was grown," Father told her. "The owl didn't belong to us. It had to fly free." "She flew?" thought Tanna, and she smiled. One day, Tanna was walking. Even though Ukpik had been so much work, she missed the owl a little. Tanna picked up an Arctic poppy, its golden petals like frozen sunlight. Then she was startled by movement. Something white. An Ukpik! The beautiful owl landed on a rocky hill, purpled with tiny flowers. It blinked at Tanna. Its eyes were the same color as Tanna's poppy. My Ukpik? Tanna wondered. Bird and girl watched each other for a long time. Arctic winds stirred Tanna's black hair and the owl's white feathers. Tanna didn't know if this was Ukpik. She wanted to believe, though she wanted to think that Ukpik had come by just to show how lovely she'd become. Maybe, Tanna thought as she walked away, beauty is worth some work. And there's the story of Tanna's owl. Where am I? Go back. Let's see what you guys have said. Did anyone send it? I didn't see any art come in. Seeing my friend's work. Roadrunner and Coyote. I saw a shawl and made to look like an owl made me want to buy it. Oh, hooting. I heard the owl call my name. Wonderful. I wish there was a Gretchen when I was growing up to read stories to me, but I'll take it now. Oh, that is so sweet, Susan. So sweet. This is a beautiful story. I love these. The stories that connect nature and when they bring how children look at them, and sometimes they, in this particular book, I mean, she was really true to the culture and the way that they feel about animals, in First Nation and Inuits, and how that she's not sure it's her owl, and she doesn't give it any, people type aspects. But in the next book, we have a little different way. We have the story comes partially through the eyes of the animal in it. That's one of the main characters. This is a book by Jean Reidy, and she once lived high above honking taxis, growling trash trucks, shrieking cars, and of course buses traveling in every direction. And she might like to again someday, but for now she writes from her home in Colorado, right across the street from her neighborhood library, which she loves. Her fun, lively, award-winning picture books have earned their spots as favorites among readers and listeners of all ages. Admittedly, she's never had a tortoise. Might be a hint. But over the years, she has resided with an assortment of not-so-well-behaved turtles, parakeets, lizards, goldfish, hamsters, and even one feisty fire-bellied toad. Oh my goodness. And, oh, okay, cool. Yay! I will pull it in and for after the stories. Good, thank you, Susan. And then Lucy Ruth Cummins is the illustrator, and she's an author and illustrator and an art director of children's book. Her debut picture book was A Hungry Lion or A Dwindling Assortment of Animals, and it was a finalist for Governor's Award. She's also the author-illustrator of Stumpkin, and as a little girl, she had a turtle for a pet, but he ran away, really. She lives with her little family in Brooklyn, New York. And the name of this book is called Truman. Similar kind of art, almost. You see, I thought this is what I love. Look at the two looks of the little girl here looking at Ukpik and the little girl here looking at Truman. Kind of tied them together for me. Truman by Jean Reidy. Truman was small, the size of a donut, a small donut, and every bit as sweet. He lived with his Sarah high above honking taxis and growling trash cans and shrieking cars. Let me do something here. Give these a little bit more room for the book. There we go. And the number 11 bus, which traveled south. Truman never honked or growled or shrieked or anything at anybody. He was peaceful and pensive, just like his Sarah. One day, Sarah ate a big banana with her breakfast, clipped a blue bow in her hair, and buttoned up a brand new sweater. She strapped on a backpack so big 32 small tortoises could ride along in it, but 0 tortoises did. Sarah placed 7 green beans in Truman's dish, 2 more than usual. She kissed her finger and touched it to his shell and whispered, "Be brave." Then she left. Not to worry. She'd left before. She'd always returned. But this time, that backpack was particularly big, and Sarah looked particularly pensive. And that banana, and that bow, and let's not forget about those beans, extra beans. That's when Truman saw something he'd never seen before. Sarah boarding the number 11 bus going south. The bus roared away. Truman waited for Sarah to return. He waited and waited. He waited 1,000 hours, tortoise hours that is, until he could wait no longer. He would go after his Sarah. He would catch the number bus 11 south, even amid the honking and the growling and the shrieking, even if it seemed impossible. Bonk! That's when he noticed the rocks. 3 rocks that had always been there. Ordinary rocks that now seemed extraordinary. And the arm of the couch and the pillow propped just right, and that tall, tall boot, and the rug, that glorious, endless rug. Without Sarah, their home seemed vast and uncharted and unsettling. Truly unsettling. But perhaps most unsettling was that Truman could no longer see the taxis or the trash trucks or the cars or the number 11 bus. Which way was south anyway? Now the sun hung low like Truman's head and heart. Just then, and then, vroom, screech, whoosh, up floors and under doors. Truman heard it. A bus. It was time. Time to catch the number 11 south, amid the honking and the growling and the shrieking. Yet standing there in that ray of light, Truman felt peaceful and pensive and brave. But just as he was about to slip under the door, through that opening barely the size of a small tortoise, Sarah! She spotted him shining in the sun. "Truman!" she cried, and she scooped him up and said things like, "Oh my goodness, and you, and how did you ever, and oh, amazing! Sarah kissed her finger and touched it to his shell and tucked him back safely in his tank, where he was peaceful and pensive and proud. And later, just before bedtime, she read him a story. Now Truman knew that one day soon he and his Sarah might travel south to see new sights and hear new sounds and think new thoughts. Show and tell. Together. And that's Truman. Oh my goodness. How cute is that? Yay! All right. So let me do something real quick here. You said that Susan had sent some art in. Let me pull it up. Susan. There it is. Yay. Oh, cool. All right. I am going to go back to here, pull it into here. And what have we got? One. The canvas was destined for the trash until I said, "What the heck?" And here are 4 stages. Oh, of the beast. Okay, she called it. Okay, I better get him in the right order, huh? Let me get him in the right order. Okay, right order. So we'll put this one on the bottom. I'm just getting things ready. So here, and then this one. This isn't the regular art thing, but it'll show them still too. Okay, can do this. This is gonna work. 3 and 4. Okay, back to live mode. Here I am. And we're going to go see what Susan has for the art. Okay, here she says, "The canvas was destined for the trash until I said, 'What the heck?' Here are the 4 stages of the beast. Of this beast, used dotting tool, bubble wrap, and 2 brushes." Okay. Yay. I know that doll did look fierce in that book. Okay, so here it is. This is how it started. Got it. Oh, there, that's the first one. And then she did some dotting. Bubble wrap challenge. Oh, was there a bubble wrap challenge I missed? Cool. Very cool. There's that. That's the second one. Then she got to here. Nice. Look at that. Wow. I like that. I like the... Okay. Let's switch cameras here. Boop, boop, boop. So I can talk to you guys straight. There I go. I like the color combination. It's so pretty. And then the last one, oops, not that. There we go. Here's the last one. Her final part of it. Very cool, Susan. Oh, you can't see them? Oh, thank you, Larry. Ha ha. Let me get them back. Okay, back to live mode. I thought I was. Publish. There we go. Funny. Yes, it's live. That's what we do. Thanks, Larry. He's so subtle. We would also like to see them. I thought I'd hit it. There we go. You can, okay, now there. Now let's go to, here we go. There we go. Are you? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna switch this camera to this one. Funny. Okay. Here we go. There is the first one in it. I missed you, Larry. And there's the next one. Just better. Here we go. And then she got to this point. Come on. There. Oops. Whoa, hold it. All right. Then she got to this one. Here, we'll get it bigger. Here's my hand. Purple hands again. This one. That's the next to the last one. And then the final is this one. Let's pull it up. I love drag and drop. There we go. I did. Aren't you seeing them? Okay. So have you, oh good. Angie says she sees them. Yes, yes, yes. Gorgeous, isn't that pretty? Really pretty. To go from here to there, that's so cool. Very cool. I love it. I love it. Yay! All right, so now get that done, and then okay, so I have one more story for you guys, and so it's on the computer though, so I'm going to switch it, and it's by the same as Truman, and I just found it because it's kind of almost like I think Truman makes a little bit of a slight appearance in this next story. So let me flip back here, which means we're done with these. I'll get rid of these, and then I have to switch my source to the screen share, and there's the book. La-da! And then I have to switch this so that I can be reading the book. The out of focus background is genius. Yeah, isn't it gorgeous? It really, really is so beautiful. That, you know, I mean, photographers, we do a lot to get that out of focus background, that bokeh, we call it, or some call it bokeh, some call it bokeh. Yeah, don't ever try to figure it out. Just say what you say, and that's the thing. But this book is by the same couple, Jean Reidy and Lucy Ruth Cummins. And so you'll see a similar kind of illustration style. And I think, you know, I had a feeling that Truman kind of made an appearance. This book story is called Sylvie. Yep. It's B-O-K-E-H in photography terms, and it's argued left and right, upside downside of how it's pronounced, and nobody can agree, so we just all say it the way we want. And there's even, in the dictionary, it says it's different ways depending on what area of the world you live in. It's kind of funny. So anyway, Sylvie. I think you're going to like this. Again, that cool kind of illustration style that she has. Look at the cloud turtle and the cloud spider. Sylvie hung on a silvery thread from the rusty underside of a fire escape. And though it was dark and damp and disturbingly close to the dumpster, that hideout was home to Sylvie because, you see, not everyone appreciates a spider who calls attention to herself. Plus, while well hidden, Sylvie could watch over her people. The promising painter with the perfect palette, the proper little lady with the china teapot, the mindful young man with working on a plan, and the brave girl with the exceptionally brave tortoise. Day and night, night and day, looking with longing at that crew in plain view, Sylvie made sure that everything and everyone on every floor were just so. But lately, that teapot sat well below brimming. That plan seemed rather bland. That paint sat with blue unused. And that tortoise, well, that tortoise's exceptional bravery seemed untested in his tank. Was just so just right? Or did the four need something more? Sylvie? No, heavens no. Sylvie put the thought right out of her heart because it seems not everyone appreciates a spider who calls attention to herself. Then one day, just before tea time, the sun, that same sun that seldom saw the underside of the fire escape, streamed a single ray at just the right angle. It seemed to shine a bit brighter and linger a little longer, and it caught Sylvie's thread in a most determined, distressing, and double-crossing way. What was a spider to do? But then, and then, and plain as day, from her perfect perspective, it came to her. She saw the hearts all the way. If you can turn your head, I can't turn the picture. It doesn't rotate. All the hearts in the illustration there. See them on each floor, around each person. Yeah. An idea! An audacious, dangerous, magnanimous idea. An idea that just might make everything, dare she say it, just right. Sylvie couldn't. She shouldn't. She mustn't, but she must. So, with hope in her heart and the sun on her thread, Sylvie inched into the light. She scurried past the girl with the exceptionally brave tortoise. She skirted past the young man working on his plan. She scooted past the lady with the china teapot, and then she looped and leaped and led her people. Oh, and she scampered past the painter with the perfect palette. And then she looped and leaped and led her people all the way up to the tip top of the world, where soon the four found much more. But Sylvie had stopped just short of the top, watching, wondering, when, without proper warning, she was warmly welcomed. And basking in that beautiful beam, Sylvie was a sight to be seen. That's when that oh so savvy spider with more moxie than misgiving sashayed straight through the paints and onto the plan. And with a touch of inspiration, some blending brushstrokes, and a heartfelt nod, everything and everyone came together just right. Because it's true that while not everyone appreciates a spider who calls attention to herself, grateful friends most certainly do. And that's the story of Sylvie. I love that one. Oh, I lost my thing. Yay! Did you guys like that one? Yes, it was very fun. And good, what a fun story. Can't. I'm drowning in YouTube channels and can't stop. Oh. I don't have much time. 4 or 5. See so many. That's so cool. Very cool. Somebody's group. You know, Linda, I know. I have a hard time keeping up. They're tied. Getting all of those kind of things together. I have a couple poems from the book. So one more time here. So there was, I don't think I read Dream, found in the narrative of life of Frederick Douglass. Born of cherry time, a source restless and quite dark, a whisper before sunrise, the light between hardships and suffering, tender, savage wish, I dare, I expect, I live. And that's a found poem created by selecting words from an existing text. Oh, and John Merrick in The Elephant Man, the quote is, "Sometimes I think my head is so big because it is so full of dreams." I love that. Come on. And then another one, Empathy. This one is an acrostic poem in which the first, last, or even other letters in the line create a word or phrase. Empathy. Ears open, mouth closed, paying attention to the other person, helping them know, yes, they matter. And Catherine Erskine in the book Mockingbird, which is a Newbery-winning kids chapter book. Catherine, it's beautiful. Even though I didn't think I'd like empathy, it kind of creeps up on you and makes you feel all warm and glowy inside. I don't think I want to go back to life without empathy. So cool. Yeah. Anyway, we're almost, is that the last E? Oh, no, there's 2 more E's. Equality and exercise. An experiment. Okay, I can't do all those tonight. Not doing all those tonight. We're not doing all those tonight. Because I don't get to read about them then. I haven't read those ahead of time. Yes. So that's our Words for a Better World, Poems for a Better World, the book that I'm reading little bits of those from too. But I hope you guys like that. It is fun to have those books to share. And it was cute then when I had Truman, and then I found Sylvie, and it was the only one of Jean Reidy's books that was on Libby for checkout, which was, I was surprised that none of her other books were, but that's okay. Anyway, you guys, like I said, Sunday I have it scheduled. There is a premiere for you. It'll be at 6:30. I'm going to be in Eugene with the 3 grandkids, the O'Malley. So McLean is almost 8. Rook just turned 5, and Rory is 2.5. So their mom and dad are going to be at a concert over in Bend, and so I'm going down tomorrow on the train. So the chances of being able to get on with them, yeah, they'll want to go. They're the outdoor kids. They're the ones who want to hike and be outside and go all over the place all the time. So yeah, and Rook is the only girl on the flag football team, and she's just ripping up the field, having a great time. And Rory is that 2.5-year-old who thinks she can just keep up with everybody else. Yep. And McLean is just, he's this voracious reader. He just literally, they got a note home. This is the kind of note that you get home from your teacher. You love it. When McLean doesn't ever like to put the books down. We have to encourage him to do something, because he's always reading in between everything else. He just loves to read, and he falls asleep reading at night. In the morning when he gets up, he wakes up, he's reading. Yeah, it's great. So guess what he's getting for his birthday? Yeah, more books. Anyway, so I'm going to be spending the weekend with those guys watching them, and then I'll come home Monday, and then we turn around and leave on Thursday again. So the next couple are going to be, probably 3 are going to be premieres, because Thursday I'm in, Sunday I'll be with the grandkids. The Thursday I'll be on the road camping someplace, and then Sunday we will have just arrived in Mesa and be getting ready to get those guys, because we're watching them for a couple weeks. So I will have just arrived, so probably won't make it that night. So, but I've got premieres scheduled for you guys. All right. Anyway, let's see what everybody else has to say. Let me pull the things up here. We will have safe travels. Bring wine. Yeah, they're wonderful kids. I have a great time with them. We do art and all kinds of stuff and make a huge mess, and we cook together, and it's just wonderful. Anyway, we will have a great time, and I will take some pictures and you'll see them, and oh my goodness, I'll probably post some Instagram stories with them, but it'll be fun. Anyway, you guys, give yourselves a high five. Thank you for being here, for filling my bucket, for making my day, and I hope you enjoyed those stories and how the little fun things I have. I'm going to record a couple more. I have a couple funny ones, hilarious to this. Plus, it's coming up. I can't believe on Sunday I'm going to actually, is that the first? So 2 things are coming up, and I'll be gone. Have Banned Book Week and Fat Bear Week. Banned Book Week starts the first week of October, and so there's great books to read there. And then Fat Bear Week is the same time. So go to there's a bracket I got to get in and see. Yeah, Chunk is really fat, but he got in trouble. People aren't real happy with him right now, because he went after one of 901's, one of her cubs, and yeah. So she has 3 cubs, and he went after one of them, and he had them treed for 24 hours. Yeah. So they stayed up there, but Yeah, so he's not high on the popularity level right now. He kind of even though he's super fat, he's still, I don't think he's going to make it very far in the bracket. All right, you guys, high five. Take care. Keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. And you know the first place you'll find it, though, is when you go look in the mirror. And Parker, thanks for coming so much. It's nice to have you added into the community. Angie and Susan and Linda and Larry and Lupe, if you're lurking, and Gail, I know you watch after and you let me know. Oh gosh, yeah, I was going to tell you guys, I got a message from an author whose book I read back at St. Patrick's Day, and she was like, thank you so much for reading my book. Like, yay, that's so cool. Anyway, until next time, you guys, you know the routine. Chair dance time. In the night, we could get all sleep, all the lights out. Feel alright, we won't go home, we just stay downtown. There's not just us on the block, every light in your eyes. We don't need no photo bags! Oh my gosh, photo bags! I had a photo bag when I skied! Oh my gosh! We could be shaking and